stay. We're going to go to, let me get this link out. Spurs are in the Western Conference Finals. I think that is where we're going to start this. You're going to hear my voice and say, Western Conference Finals, here we come. If you'd have told me that in October when I was at the Spurs practice facility for Media Day with Aaron Blackerby and Tom Matrini, who is at the game, and Aaron will be joining us here shortly. If you'd have told me that, I would have I don't think I would have believed you if I want to be completely honest. But let me get this link out, and then we will start the show. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot that's going to be going down from tonight into Monday. This is going to come quick, fast, and hurry. But I want to shout out to my two co-hosts who called it. We said in 6. Should have been in 5, my personal opinion. But we'll take 6. I'm going to tweet this link out, and then I'm going to start this show. Be ready to go. Let me tell AB we're live. Tweeting the link out. And then we're going. It was 11:20. I have a feeling I'm going to go pretty late tonight because there is an absolutely ton to talk about. There's Aaron Blackerby right now joining us. I'm tweeting the link out as we speak, and we're going to get going.
Oh, dang. Am I coming through?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you see me?
I hear you. I see you too.
Oh, weird. It's only showing me just you. I guess this is being on the other side of this. Dude, what is up? Man, I just want people to know that I'm dedicated to my craft here. I'm actually at the Bachelor Barn right now. I'm at a bachelor party, and I'm with a bunch of Knicks fans, and I'm the only Spurs fan here. But I got to say, Knicks fans are very supportive of the cause down here in Texas.
Okay. AB, you didn't introduce yourself, but we're going to introduce. This is Aaron Blackerby from the Silver Black Coffee Hour, who is at the Bachelor Barn. And the Bachelor Barn, by the way, looks absolutely sick. Want to get
dude, this is a place for activities. There's literally a basketball court in the middle of this place, and there's just 21 beds all around.
AB,
it's fantastic.
Quick question. I started the show off by saying a certain thing. Hey, let me ask a question. AB, it's October 1st. We walk into this first practice facility. Victor Wembanyama says our goal this year is 6th. We want to get 6th. 6th seed is a goal. And everyone was like, whoa. If they would have told you, if he would have said, no, Western Conference Finals is our goal, your head would have spun off your head. The Spurs are going to the Western Conference Finals. I want you to pinch yourself. Everyone, this is something to enjoy. Before we even get the show started, I just want to say, guys, this is a massive deal for the San Antonio Spurs. Western Conference, or anything that has finals in it, means a lot, AB. Western Conference Finals, the finals, these wins matter. These games matter. Wow, what a performance from the boys tonight. But it is Western Conference Finals. Here we come. AB, how you feeling?
Well, shout out to Drew saying that the Bachelor Barn Wi-Fi is excellent. I was hoping so. That game went like what I thought it was going to go. I thought that there was going to be one heavyweight punch from the Timberwolves. And I tweeted about it. I was like, I'm going to be very curious to see how the team handles this. But could that game have gone any better, man? We got 5 minutes of Kelly Olynyk minutes, man. Foot fetishes stand up, all right? You want to see those no-show socks on that long-haired man? So great. Mason Plumlee out there trying to do behind-the-back passes. I know this isn't even this is like the last 5 minutes of the game, but no, Western Conference Finals against the team that the Spurs have gone 4-1 against, that America is going to be rooting against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And look, that game's on Monday. We're going to do a preview.
Yeah, so
on Sunday. Okay. I think so. I know we haven't done planning yet, Zach, but I'm just saying, we should plan on Sunday. doing that because I've been thinking about this matchup here for a little bit, and I got some takes on how to take down Shea.
Before we get too crazy, AB, you were right on a transition. We should talk about the game. Talk about the game itself tonight, what we saw. I have not gotten into that. We should get into that. What we saw, I think that first quarter, the tone that was set by the backcourt, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, was fantastic from those two guys. Steph said, "You're going to step off me. I'm going to shoot the three." Made it. Really changed the way the way the Timberwolves had to play him. Oh, they're showing a little. They're celebrating in the locker room. We're getting primed behind the scenes right now on the TV. But De'Aaron Fox also said, "You're going to put Jaden McDaniels on me. Watch how fast I am. I'm going to put him on my back, and he will not be able to stop me." And the Wolves were petrified of any Wemby roll tonight. He had three guys on him at all times when he rolled, and the Spurs backcourt, especially in that first quarter, took advantage. AB, what did you see? What did you like? What did you want to see any more of, or were you happy?
I'm very happy, man. We talk about 2-1-1, that theory we kind of have started talking about in this series. I'd say this was the Stephon Castle game. Dude was absolute nails in this game, not just from the free throw line, but from the 3-point line.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolute nails. I thought what they were giving him, and he was like, I got this. He came down to show this is like the Stephon Castle you saw in the UConn national championship game. He is such a riser. And all of these dudes were fantastic. De'Aaron Fox hurt himself a little bit.
Right.
But to your point, he had everyone on skates. He got people in torture chambers with his dribbles. He had no problem getting anywhere. Like the Spurs solved them. I mean, the only person who really came in the first half from the Timberwolves was Naz Reid. And they had a great game plan, by the way, of what they were doing on traps, where they're like, okay, put Naz in the corner. We're going to trap Edwards. We're swinging around to the strong side. Naz is on the weak side. But then, there was a couple of ball watching 3-point shots there because Naz goes up to the wing to be the outlet from Randall. And man, like, the amount of runs that this team went on and sustained them and just, man, again, smelled blood in the water and took advantage of it. There are experienced teams that wouldn't do this. People said the same thing about LeBron James for years, that like he doesn't know how to, feel the moment. And this team did. I mean, I'm like, Wemby, like, he did enough to impose himself defensively. He didn't have to really do that much offensively because, according to Spurs PR Jordan Howenstein, Spurs just broke the record for most threes in a playoff game at 17. So fantastic.
Well, that leaves us. AB, you're leading us to transition perfect tonight because you're saying how good the runs were. They started off on a 20-0 run in the second quarter, and then it kind of shuffled back. Playoff basketball, but I do want to give a quick shout out. That 20-0 run, the rookies were involved. A lot of different players were involved. This was a blitz from the Spurs, and I think this is when I think they took control of the game. I know that the Timberwolves fought back, but you could tell they had to exert a lot of energy in that back into the second quarter to really get that game back, to really get where they wanted to be. It was still 13.5. So they came out of halftime. I was like, the first 4 minutes of half are going to be massive. And sure enough, the Spurs blew it back up to 20-22 and then really had control of the game. And at that point, they're hitting threes. Julian got hot. Devin got hot. Dylan Harper made some, Wilvin, dude, some of the moves that Dylan Harper made on Anthony Edwards in the paint were just like, this kid is not 20 years old. There's no way he's 20 years old. There's just no way. There's no way.
I mean, just fantastic all-around game, man. This is now the second time where the Spurs, when they know how to rise to the moment, we saw it with Portland. We see it with this team again, that they just do it, man. This is not an easy task for anyone to do, to anyone to sense the moment and take advantage of it. I'm so proud of them, man. Like, they're not supposed to be here or anything like that. I think something that we all kind of didn't expect, and even Victor Wembanyama didn't expect, was, are the Spurs on schedule or are they on pace coming into the season? And the Spurs, if Vic hadn't have gotten hurt last year, they were gonna be in the play-in. They were gonna get their playoff experience. They never did, obviously, but for them to make this leap from 34, 35 win team last year into a 62 win team this year, into Western Conference bound for, okay, who's the guy who, there's only one starter on this team that has been in one playoff series up until this point. This is a bunch of hungry dogs out there, man.
Baby, I want to.
It's fantastic.
Again, I know I shouted out the backcourt to start the show, but I don't think me saying they played good puts it in perspective.
You got some stats behind this.
De'Aaron Fox, 21 points, 8 for 10, 9 assists, missed 2 shots. Steph Castle, 11 for 16, 5 for 7 for 3, 6 assists. And Dylan Harper, 6 for 8, 1 for 3, 5 for 2 assists, 15 points. Those guys shot the ball 34 times, missing combined 9 times. If your backcourt's going to do that.
Bro, what the hell? Anthony Edwards was 9 of 25.
Yeah, and he
only made 9 shots.
They really put the ball in Terrence Shannon Jr. tonight's hand. They said, if anyone's going to beat us, it's going to be this guy. And that's really what the game plan was in the second half. The Spurs, if anyone's going to beat us, it's Jaden McDaniels, who was, tonight? 4 for 13, had a horrible series. Horrible series. And let me say something real quick. I got no beef with any Wolves fans. I honestly, Anthony Edwards is my second favorite player behind Wemby, or non-favorite Spur in the league. You know what I don't like? I don't like seeing players walk off at the end of playoffs and not shaking people's hands. And we saw a few players on the Wolves do that. Rudy and Wemby obviously embraced. But AB, I think my next question is if we're going to give out grades full series, or should we give out MVP of the series? Let's do that. Let me ask you. I'll ask you. I'll fire him off.
You're running the show tonight. Running the show tonight. So you tell me what you want to do.
I'll fire him off right now. So let's do, because we know who played well tonight. There's a lot of A+. We don't need to even really go into everyone played really well to have to score that many points. We're going to do overall grades of players, and then we'll do MVP of the series and stand out. I'll have some fun awards that we'll give out after the grades. So I'll go over to start the series. We'll start with De'Aaron Fox. What is your grade for De'Aaron?
He gets an A. An A. I'm not going to give him a full A+. There were definitely some struggles within this, but the second half of the series really figured the team out. And for the second time now in a closeout game, and I bring this up because of all of the De'Aaron Fox's contract guys. This is what you pay the big bucks for. The dude who understood to be in control, be decisive, take it to the rack, understood that there was no one on this Wolves team that could guard him without fouling him. Mm-hmm. There was definitely some struggles, especially in that game 1, but he really came along for the ride. A for De'Aaron.
A, okay. I like an A. I like it. I like an A for De'Aaron. I think the games that the Spurs took control of, he was a big part of. Okay, we'll go Steph Castle. What's your grade on him? And also, before you answer, AB, I want the chat. Chat, please give me your grades as well in the chat. Type some. Tell me what you're feeling on these players as well as I go down. So,
I think Steph Castle gets an A as well.
Okay.
Tonight really stepped up. We had the Steph Castle game tonight. It's kind of been something I've been waiting to see. But then you go and look at his box score for multiple times throughout the series. You see this 18, 7, and 7. And that's kind of like the Stephon Castle stat line right now. and then tonight like blows it out with 30 points and has some incredible dimes to Wemby. His defense was great, but he did get, in some serious foul trouble being aggressive. But I think he really calmed down his defense. So I got a shout out to Sean Sweeney and really coaching through that for him to be in a place that he could be an effective player for the rest of the series. So, I think there might be like only one A+ person actually on the Spurs that I would give it to now that I'm thinking about it.
AB fun stat with Steph Castle and 3 of the wins in games 3 and game 6 and also game 4. Or I mean, where we go? Games 5, game 6, and games 2. Steph Castle shot over 60% in all 3 of those games. That guy is playing some good offense, and so we'll go down to Julian Champagny. Julian Champagny, thoughts on JC?
B. Came alive from the 3-point line. Came alive from the 3-point line tonight. Had solid defense. He does everything, the little parts of it, really well. But some definite offensive struggles with him. So I'll give him a B on this one.
I like it. I like a C+ to a B. AB, what does the score change? Does the grade change if he hits the game winner in game 1? Because that feels like a month ago. That game,
yeah, of course.
That game feels like a month ago.
Dude, of course. I mean, that puts you in firm like A+ status. Like you get the game winner. Yeah, totally.
All right, Devin Vassell. I got a fun Devin Vassell stat after the game. After you tell me yours.
I mean, I'm gonna go with a B as well. Like previous game, he was 2 of 7. Came along for the ride. I don't know fully what his stats were tonight, but saw some really good threes go down. No, actually, I'm gonna give Devin. Devin took on the assignment in a very quiet way of Anthony Edwards a lot in this. So I think I'm actually going to bump him up to a B+ with that. Just wanted to see more of the offense on his end.
Yeah, he only his highest scoring total was 14 points, and so he wasn't great, but interesting Devin stat going into tonight. Players going into their first 10 games with the highest plus-minus in NBA history. Devin Vassell is a plus 106, which is the highest in NBA history for plus-minus for your first 10 playoff games started.
That's wild.
Pretty cool stat. Marquise Morris is on the list. You got Steph Curry's on the list. Devin Booker, Kevin Love. It's a good list. It's not a bunch of randos who are like, oh, he's on a good list. So shout out to Devin. I think D+ is good because his defense, he worked his ass off on Ant Edwards. Those doubles, those ISOs, the switches, he was really working his ass off. And we'll end with the big man himself, Victor Wembanyama. Where are we at with Vic? Of the starting lineup, at least.
Yeah, Vic's gonna.
You said an A? You got a little fuzzy right there.
Am I coming through?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
All right. An A? I like an A.
Yeah, I'd give him an A. Getting ejected, not great. Probably could have won that game without that ejection. Didn't have a good offensive game in game 1. And also these grades are relative to what I think their potential is. So Vic showed up in the last game. Remember he had like 16 and 6 points into the quarter. And tonight, once again, he knows.
Oh, we lost Wemby. So we lost AB. He'll join back here in a sec. I guess I'll answer the question. Vic got himself kicked out of the game, unfortunately. Not a big fan of that. But I think that knocks him down to an A. Maybe an A, yeah. So I'll ask the next one. I'll wait for AB to join back in here. The next one is going to be Dylan Harper. So if you're in the chat, want to tell me how you feel about Dylan Harper. I know what I'm going to give Dylan Harper. I think I know what AB is going to give Dylan Harper too. If you want my honest opinion, I think I know. AB said he's only going to give one A+ in this And I think I know who it's going to be. So when he joins back, we'll see whenever that is. And if it's not, I'll just send it. I give Dylan, and I think context matters, right? Dylan Harper is a rookie. A rookie. Oh, here he is. He's back. AB's back. Drew, you spoke too soon, and you jinxed the Wi-Fi, as Drew said in the chat. So AB, I think I know your answer on this one. I'm asking Dylan Harper thoughts.
I mean, I asked it on the last show. Like, he got an A+ in this series. Hands down. If there's anyone that gets an A+ in this series, like, I've been like Dylan Harper stan like day one Spurs, from seeing him in summer league. Never thought it would be like this, and I would say Dylan Harper A+. Great defense on Ant. He got him in the torture chamber today as well. His finishing is elite. Hit a 3 in Jaden McDaniel's eye tonight as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, that guy is so fucking good. Like, he is such a riser, and I feel like even in the next series, this is where like the Spurs are gonna have the advantage with the Thunder. Is like our guards are just bigger than them.
Mm-hmm.
And we just played a series where we were the smaller team, but had the depth, to get through this series. So yeah, I got to give Dylan Harper an A+ in this series.
We seen in the chat, we got Harper graduating magna cum laude, Harper A++. I believe in grade deflation, but Harper still gets an A+. Dylan Harper is sitting in front row of the class. Those are all the comments we're getting in chat right now, and I agree with all of them.
The young lion comes out to play. The young lion comes out to hunt for Mike Conley, and the young lion came out to hunt for Anthony Edwards tonight, man. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, he's so fantastic.
So I think we're unfortunately going to get our worst grade of the playoffs right here. I'm going to ask you, Keldon Johnson.
All right, we're going to give Keldon a C+. Okay, having one game where he puts up 21 is solid. Didn't have the greatest. I thought his defense was fairly solid. But tonight I feel like Mitch kind of tightened the leash on Keldon minutes to keep
Carter
things
took his minutes
going.
And Harrison Barnes took his minutes.
It was fascinating to see Mitch pulling those strings. With that, Carter Bryant got on today, and like I said, I'm watching this game tonight, which, like, Zach knows this too. I do not really like watching games with other people because I'm trying to like take notes. I'm trying to like look at it in depth, and I don't want any distractions. And like, I'm doing the show from a bachelor party. Like, I'm dedicated to this craft. All right. This is for the people. And I was, with these guys who like don't really know many of the Spurs, but they like know ball. And I was just like, hey, on this possession, just watch number 11 over here. Watch what he does to Ant Edwards. And these guys were like, whoa, he's like really locking him up. And I was like, yeah, that guy's a rookie too. And they're like, what the hell? So, we're spreading the word to New York that they need, and that Carter Bryant is coming out there to take their lunch too.
AB, I want to make a quick adjustment on my grade. I want to own up to it'd be like a student coming up to a teacher like, hey, like, what I do wrong? And then you like look at you like, you know what? I made the mistake. Julian Champagnie rage baiting Alex Rodriguez on the sideline, I think bumps his grade up. Whenever we had it, at least one letter grade. So if it was a C+, he's a B-. He's like, I just think that's only fair.
Oh yeah, I mean, nothing because Julian Champagnie shot a 3 in his eye and knew exactly where he was sitting. And he looks like a fucking 90s, like, child villain,
Yep.
Like, oh, I got to tear down this playground for these orphan kids. Like, that's what Alex Rodriguez looks like. And for Julian Champagnie to come out and just be like, no, you will not tear down that park for those orphan kids. I am, the hero of Minneapolis. I am Julian Champagny.
Yeah,
Man,
so
sick.
The producers at Prime with the zoom in baseline to the memeable A-Rod after Julian Champagny splashes a give up. The game was over. That was the nail in the coffin 3 where no one got back. It was 5-on-3 and Julian got to. Like, I watched the game. My boys, shout out to my boys, are watching it. Gabe, Juan, appreciate them coming over supporting, and they. When that 3 goes in, it's over. But they were like, "Yo, they didn't even." And that felt like that was it. That was the dagger. That was it. And we're here now. It's so Keldon. I give a C plus. I give a C plus. I think he's gonna be big in this next series. He's gonna be needed.
Well, he likes to hit Chet Holmgren in the face, so yeah, I would say that he will be needed.
Okay. Carter Bryant. We'll go with the young kid.
All right. Carter gets a B plus. This is not really to do anything with the way he played as much as just his playing time. I thought he made it really effective when he was on the court. Could have seen a little more offensive aggression from him, but I have a feeling that that's also not what he is coached to do at this point in the series. I think he is just being told, hey, go out there and just stop people. And for that, I think he's done a great job.
Luke Cornett.
All right. Cornett gets an A, man.
Okay.
I think his numbers are not going to show it because they are always relative to Wemby, but third quarter game 4 or game 5, last one before this one, really held it down, especially with widening out that lead. I thought he was fantastic. This game, I think he got a few blocks. The Spurs, ended up having 11 total blocks in this game. Mm-hmm. By the way, all of this is off the top of my head. I don't even have the box score I think it
was 13 blocks actually.
It ended up being 13. There you go. He's playing his role. He's doing what it is. I don't think, like I said, that his box score and his plus minus and his on-off numbers are ever going to be great. And that's because he's playing behind the best player in the world right now. And look, I think the Spurs obviously know the value of Luke Cornett. I think Luke Cornett knows the value of Luke Cornett. And I think that's really all that matters. But I also know the value of Luke Cornett. So I'm going to give him an A.
That's a good – I like it. I was going to go B plus. Because I do he did have a game where I think he had almost a Tony Snell game, but we're not gonna do that because he had some blocks. So he almost did it, but he didn't do it. But Luke was good. Shout out to Luke. He was he found his role because in that game 1 we were kind of concerned where are they gonna find time for Luke in these minutes because they seemed to find an opportunity to go at him when he was the main defender when Wemby had those 12 blocks. So yeah, I think for me. Luke found his footing, and his defense was great in a lot of those second halves of those wins that they had. So shout out to Luke, not needing to score, not needing to alley-oop, but knowing that once again you're coming in the game and scoring. So I like a B plus, an A. I'm not mad about either one of those.
Yeah,
I think that concludes our player grades. I want to ask AB now. We'll save the MVP for after. Your favorite play of the series.
Tomahawk block from Wemby in game 1 was pretty sick.
Yeah, that was dope.
Tomahawk block, I think, is the first one that I think of in this series. Will, to your question here, there's not a was the vibe. I'm literally in the bachelor barn right now. There's a bachelor party going on outside these walls that I'm taking a break from to come be here. And if anyone's yeah, I've had a few beers, but I'm also drinking water right now. I'm having a great time. There's a basketball court here. We've been playing basketball on and off. The basketball court turns into a pickleball court. There's dodgeballs. This place is literally just a warehouse with some beds and a big couch to watch the game. And then there's a pool and 2 saunas. And so this place is literally just meant for partying. And there's about like, the reason I can also do this and no one's going to miss me, there's like 28 dudes here, man. There's so many guys. Yeah. So
you're going to reappear and they're gonna be like, oh, did you just like go throw up? Are you ready? Are you feeling better? You're like, no, I'm doing a podcast.
No, I'm good. They know. But I will say for the game, the vibe was great. I'm learning these new dice games called Stallions. Pretty fun game. Gotta bring it to people, you know? So it's a fun time.
As Drake says, castles in the chat. Yeah, throw some castles in the chat, people. He was fucking awesome tonight. He was unbelievable tonight. Before we go, AB, before I answer the question, I'm going to give you, we have 2 Wemby quotes from our own Tom Petrini. 3 Wemby quotes from Tom Petrini, who is at the game, who will be here shortly. From Wemby, shows that we already gained a little bit of experience from our short playoff time. Feels like we put ourselves in the best conditions. Next Wemby quote. The nature of the playoffs makes it that we're going to play against better and better teams, and there's already a leap between first round and second round. And it's going to be probably even bigger leap between second and third round, but we have good guidance. And then my mind is excited. My body is tired after this game. Just the words, conference finals, it's crazy. Like something I heard my whole life, and now being in it is just special. It's hopefully many more conference finals to come. That's how Spurs fans should be embracing it.
Year three, man.
What did he say when he said something like, "Oh, we're not wasting any time. Like we get these championships quick, basically." 3, bro. Like I was telling my boys, anything with the name finals in it is unbelievable for this team to be in, and it's like, take a deep breath. Whatever
Zach, you're giving me chills, man. I literally got goose pimples right now just thinking about like, man, this is incredible.
Like 8, bro. We're within single digits. I can on my hand, dude. There's 8. We were 9 tonight. 8 left, bro. We're almost to single digit where we're counting wins to championships. This is
race for Sace, dog. Race for Sace continues.
This is crazy. And I know we're not talking about OKC. This is about the Timberwolves and what the team learned from this series. So I will lead it to the next question, AB. Who is your MVP tonight or for the whole series? Because my favorite – I didn't answer my favorite player. My bad. Let me answer my favorite play. My favorite play, I think, being at the game, game 5, watching Wemby come out and that 3 he hit and the motion that you saw from him looked like just a demon. Was like, I liked what Paul Pierce said. He apologized to his teammates in front of everybody. Like that was super cool to see. So that was my favorite play, my favorite moment in the series. So we'll go on. Who is your MVP? Because this might be a tough question.
Ooh. It is and it isn't. I mean, I think it's Wemby, and the very simple fact is that the Spurs are now like 32-3 when he plays 15 plus minutes over the last 35 games.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had played, in that game 4, I think this could have gone 5 from that. He responded to physicality that he had never seen before, that, just totally different. Now, granted, my heart wants to say Dylan Harper because I'm leading the Dylan Harper train. But also, before this playoff started, I did say that I wanted to start the Wemby Aura farming campaign. And the Wemby Aura farming campaign of 2026 is going very well. So, yeah, I got to say, yeah, pretty great.
Wemby?
I'm going to go Wemby, man. Keep it simple.
I think if we're going off most valuable player, then the value that Wemby brings to this team, obviously when he played, showed itself, right? So in those 4 wins, it was like Wemby loud on defense, Wemby loud sometimes on offense, but like the gravity of Wemby was the value of Wemby. So we're gonna go Wemby. I'm gonna go Wemby, but I think to to move on to go forward, what do you think this team learned from this series with the Wolves? Because I think there's a lot that they, from my personal opinion, but where's your head? Like this team learned, or this series brought this out of them, or this series made them do this or that. Like where's your head, and what did you notice? Some things that if you're like, if they get out on top, it's gonna bode well for this and that.
I mean, first and foremost, they can get into street fights, you know, um, up and into game for the physicality. And this is why I think like Wemby didn't get fined, nor did Mitch Johnson get fined, was I think the league did look at those videos and like, okay, this has gotten a little out of control. And, Victor, he did deserve to get suspended for throwing the elbow. As frustrating as that was, but like we said on the show, that a product of the refs not controlling things. So with that being said, the team won street fights. It could blow things out, smelled blood in the water, delivered. From a tactical standpoint, though, they did such a great job of like, this was not their best 3-point shooting series by any means. In the Portland Trailblazers series, they came out of the playoffs being like the top 3-point percentage shooting team in the playoffs. They're definitely not that, maybe after tonight when that thing picked up, but instead of, and we've seen this team earlier, Zach, where they would be chasing the 3 ball when they were down. And instead in this series, what they learned was attack the paint and attack the paint and attack the paint. And if you own the paint on defense and on offense, that's like the most simplest recipe for success in basketball. And, the Timberwolves tested them on both ends of that too. And I think that just getting in the paint when other things aren't falling as a way to further, dictate what is going to happen was an amazing lesson that this team learned, because that is something that I think we had both seen as like a bit of frustration when it was like, oh, go chase the 6-point play. By the way, the 6-point play doesn't exist. So those would be kind of like my 2 biggest lessons. What about you?
Yeah, I think the street fight's a great, thing to learn. I think we knew that they could get into street fights, though. We saw them this season against the Detroit teams that tried to push them around, the Houston teams that tried to push them around. But we said all season going into the playoffs that these games matter, because for some odd reason teams have this itch to try to throw different looks at Wemby during the regular season to stop him. And it bodes well for moments like this against, bigger teams like, the Wolves, who showed us different things. And we saw they adjusted after game 1. But what I think they learned is, 1, this is the first time this group has been down in a series. They were down 1-0. And they were clawing back the whole time. They got a lead 2-1, and it was 2-2. Now it's 3-2. I thought it was good for them to learn kind of how a nasty series where, it's not going to be beautiful. We said going into it that it's going to be an ugly series. There are going to be some low-scoring games tonight. The Spurs made shots and finally busted it wide open. I think game 5 they busted it wide open too, where it was like, okay, they can take a deep breath and they know how to get looks. So I think the mundane approach that Mitch Johnson talks about transferred over to a playoff series, or we say like, you're not going to win the series in one game, but you gotta like work it. And the Spurs learned how to work a playoff series against a very experienced team. So that was my main takeaway, and honestly, a thing that I love to see. Something that really, like, whatever happens here on out is the Spurs are playing with. I love the saying, the Spurs are playing with house money. From here on out, the Spurs are playing with. This is house money, baby. Whatever happens from here on out is a win to me. Every win, and I keep describing this to my mom, I was like, every win that the Spurs have from here on out, including tonight, advancing to the Western Conference Final, is going to feel like some sort of like, it'll be celebrated like a championship because these wins, if you beat the OKC Thunder team, which we're not going to talk about this series, but or this show, but it's going to mean a lot. So I think tonight was awesome. Tonight was fantastic, and the team and the whole series kind of bucked up, played through adversity, played through physicality, played through shit that annoyed them. But nah, this was. We were worried about the Nuggets. I think this Timberwolves team showed us a lot more than that Nuggets team would have shown us on the defensive end, and I think that matters a lot more in the playoffs experience-wise. And we lost AB again, so I'll just keep talking because my next question to AB was going to be a pop quiz. A pop quiz. Oh, we got a stat from Tito Silva, or I can't pronounce that name, but I'm going to go Tio. I'm just going to go Tio. In tonight's game, Stephon Castle, 21 years old and in 197 days, became the youngest player in NBA history to record a 30-point, 10 rebound, 5 assists, 5 3-point. Yeah, Steph Castle was unbelievable tonight. He started off, if Steph Castle is going to hit threes, the Spurs team is going to be like very, very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. And if teams we saw that, each series we're stacking feathers in the cap. And round one, Portland sagged off Steph Castle. And we're like, that's going to benefit the Spurs in the long run. You know why? Because they're probably going to do the Rudy Gobert. And they tried it, and it didn't work. Bit him right in the butt. And that was, honestly, Steph Castle, unbelievable from you in the backcourt. Again, I'm going to touch on how fantastic they were and how good that backcourt was. And I talked about it beginning of the series. I had my notes. I said this series will be dominated by the backcourt, and there are plenty of games that go along that say, "Hey, look, game was dominated by the backcourt." And I also want to give a quick shout out to, I guess I'm going to pat myself on the back here, but I did say that Julius Randle is the guy you attack on offense and defense before the series started. It's very easy to see that when Ant Edwards is not fully healthy or not even playing, that Julius Randle is a liability for that team. And the Spurs really made him work. And Steph Castle, since we're on the subject of Steph Castle, shut Julius Randle down. That is just, I know I got to ask Steph Curry. He was looking like Steph Curry tonight. Steph Castle, when they played the Bucks and Giannis middle of the season, I got to ask him, "Hey, thoughts on guarding Giannis tonight was your main matchup?" And the way he described it was like, I just gotta work hard. And that was AB's back. No more filibuster for me. We can keep chopping it up. But no, Steph Castle on offense and defense, great. Fantastic. AB, you're still black screen. You might have to restart and come back in, but I'll keep filibustering in the meantime. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But if y'all have any questions in the chat about this series and what you saw, I want to give AB, you're back. I see you. Hello, brother. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted. I do not hear you. Maybe you need to jump back in and jump back out. Anyways, we're having a little technical difficulties. But anyway, we're doing our thing. Oh, show on stream. Yeah, we can do this. Let's do this real quick. We'll show this. Look at that. That's dope. Look at that that's great from Tito right there. Appreciate that. That's he's unbelievable. Thank you for being a friend. Yeah, Donnie, what's up? What's up, Donnie? How are we doing? I think tonight we always say Spurs in 6. I think Spurs in 6 was something I grew up on, right? I saw a stat from Dan Weiss that the Spurs were 8-1 after home wins going on the road. And in my head, I was like, yeah, that was Tim, Manu, Tony Parker. That was Greg Popovich. That was a bunch of, that was the old guard. And I wanted to see what the new guard had in a game 6. And game 6 on the road still stands true to this day if you're a Spurs fan. So some things never change. And this is a very Spurs-like effort. 100, yeah. Spurs-like effort. Your heart is true. Your pal and yeah. We're here. AB is still trying to get back in. We're still having technical difficulties. I will announce again that Our friend Tom Petrini is on boots on the ground at the game. He'll be joining us here in a bit. And I would not be doing my job if I did not give a quick shout out to our new sponsor, Eric Salinas. If you need a house in San Antonio, please give him a shout out. He sponsored Tom to go to Game 6 and watch the Spurs win on the road. So that was a big deal for the podcast. So shout out to Eric Salinas. Appreciate what you do. Hoophead and a good guy all around. So y'all check him out while we wait for AB to get back. If y'all have any questions for me, send them in. I will answer. I'm ready to answer some questions as well. I'm up. This is let's see here. Just heard Tom P on the post-game presser. What did he ask? Tell me what he asked. What was his question? I asked him to, since we're doing the show, it's hard for all of us to be in that room. I love being in that room and asking questions as well, but we send the best in the business down there when he's there, and it's just AB or one of us because Tom is the best in the business. So what do you ask? Eric Salinas, yeah, he sent him, and we appreciate Eric for sending Tom to Minnesota. Tom actually, I want to tell y'all, Tom is actually a savage. Drove to Houston this morning, hopped on at 6 a.m., landed in Minnesota at like 9. Went straight to shoot around. Was at shoot around for a bit. He doesn't have a hotel, so he just stayed around the arena. Ate food at the arena because the Minnesota PR really hook up the journalists there. Shout out to them. Really do a great job. And he leaves at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and he's just gonna write stories. He's gonna write stories tonight and just go hop on a plane tonight like 4 o'clock in the morning. Shout out to a guy who is dedicated to his craft. I want everyone in the chat to throw some hearts on that because do you know what type of man does that? No sleep. And he's still going to drive back to Austin when he gets back to Houston. So shout out to Tom Petrini. When he gets in here, we're going to give him some more credit. Do Spurs get one of the first 2 games? See, Pleather, we're not answering any OKC related questions at the moment. We're doing no OKC questions at the moment. We're saving that for Sunday. I got a lot to talk about. Tonight is about advancing to the conference finals. We will worry about the juggernaut, which is the OKC Thunder on Sunday and Monday and Wednesday. So right now we're just going to enjoy. We're going to sit here and embrace the teams in the finals. A team that's a conference finals is a final. Here we go. AB's back.
All right, fans. Friends, everyone, I feel like if the Bachelor Barn is telling me the Wi-Fi is this bad, then maybe it's time for me to leave y'all and probably stay up until the sun comes up because there's a bunch of hooting and hollering and there's just Modelo's that have yet to be drunk and they're calling my name.
It's only 12.
Exactly. I saw this tequila bottle that's like saying, AB, you need to take a celebratory shot or, so look, I'm going to be spiritually honking here. I hope y'all are spiritually honking there. I'm going to let Zach, you've done such a fantastic job running the show tonight, man. So proud of you, brother. Proud of the Spurs team. I'm going to dip. We will be doing our playoff preview on Sunday at some point. Probably another live. Keep it loosey-goosey. Get the trio back together. 3-man weave. And, man, I got some things about OKC I've been thinking about.
AB, I got 2 things I want to ask you before you leave.
All right.
One is a demand, actually, and one is a question. Take a shot for me while I hold down the fort.
Can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And 2, we said Spurs in 6. We made how are you feeling about your ball IQ after this series on what our predictions were pre-series and now post-series?
Look, I got to hold myself to some self-accountability. I said Spurs in 5.
Okay. Okay, you did.
I think actually in one of the I'm not a big bettor by any means, but this sounds like it. I got pulled into like a playoff pool, and when I had money on the line, I did say Spurs in 6. I have a
Okay.
Google document sharing that,
Okay.
and I have a podcast sharing my other one. So like the duality of man. But I don't know. Like I don't feel vindicated by anything, but I am so excited about where this team is, how this team has grown. It's felt very worth it from the time investment to see this type of success and to like watch the growth and the struggles within it. And there are going to be growth and struggles within the Thunder series as well. I hope people embrace that because, that game 4 that the Spurs lost to the Timberwolves and when we got ejected, I got on this show and I said, they're going to win this series. They're clearly the better team. And series become such microcosms of the season of where things can be exploited, how things can grow, how can people adapt. And this team just keeps doing that. They are so amorphous with their structure. And quite frankly, they're not even finished products yet. Like you can't tell me Stephon Castle is a finished product. You can't tell me Dylan Harper is a finished product. You can't tell me Victor Wembanyama is a finished product. They are fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that. But right now, I'm really looking forward to some Modelo's and hanging out with some folks I don't know well, but they're all going to dap me up because they're all very happy that my team won. And I will see y'all on Sunday. Yeah, I'm gonna need a recovery day tomorrow
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll allow it. Don't worry, me too.
But yeah, we'll see y'all on Sunday. We'll talk Thunder Spurs, the series that everybody in the NBA wants to see. And I got to tell you, man, I am so looking forward to SGA getting that MVP trophy in front of Victor Wembanyama and OKC.
I'm ready.
And
I'm
I'm
ready.
I'm just excited for whatever the hell Victor decides to do that night because it's gonna be special.
Well,
Buckle
AB,
up, folks.
go handle some celebratory beers and shots for your boy and I, please, and I'll hold it down the fort until Tom comes in. So I had a blast. You be safe. Go Spurs, go, and we'll see you Sunday.
Peace out, y'all.
All right, guys. Now it's just you hanging out with Big Mont over here. I want to talk about a few Timberwolves players that shout out to Ant. I think first and foremost, Anthony Edwards. Tom says he has one more interview and he'll be here. So probably about 5-10 minutes. It's gonna be me solo dolo, guys. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. But I want to give a quick shout out to Ant Edwards. Guy had a rough night tonight, and I think the Spurs game plan over the whole series was just wear him down. He was great in game 1. He was great in game 3. He kind of but in game 4, when Wemby went out, he drove a lot. And in my head, I was like, that's going to come back and bite him in the butt. A lot of those drives in the lane without Wemby, it's going to hurt. It's going to wear and tear on those knees. And sure enough, we saw the outcome. The last two games, Ant was not the Ant we saw to start the series. And that's just the way it is. And that's just how the playoff series go. And with the games being every other night, this was going to come back and bite the Wolves in the butt with the depth that they were going to play with and with the way the Spurs play. And I always said you're going to get in the torture chamber with the Spurs for 48 minutes of basketball over 7 games. That's going to be difficult. That's a hard thing to do, is to play 48 minutes 7 times against the Spurs. And we've seen that Wemby's gotten better with more minutes in the playoffs. He's added more blocks. He's averaging more points. All these players are thriving in playoff basketball because it fits and it sits the way the Spurs have wanted to play all season long. So I got some questions over here that I'm going to answer. We got Donnie Dogpiss. How do you feel about Ant dapping our guys before the game was over? Ant had to make it about himself, but I thought it was interesting. I felt like this series deserved a little more appreciation at the end. I didn't like a lot of the Timberwolves players walking off at the end, which is what they did, unfortunately. But hey, what can you do? That's really can't. I always go from a quote from Pop is like, don't be a sore winner and don't be a sore loser. And I don't like teams, not. I think it's like hockey. You got to shake people's hands and look them in the eye and say good series. So I'm disappointed in that. I'm not happy about that. One of the interviews on the broadcast didn't like the Ant gave up at 8 minutes. He said Wemby wouldn't do. Yeah, Wemby wouldn't do that. I don't think. I mean, we'll find out. I mean, Wemby hadn't lost a playoff series yet in his career. Knock on wood. But Wemby hadn't done that, and I don't think Wemby would do that. But at the end of the day, this was looking back on it. There was a lot that went on this series, and it was as a Spurs fan. As a Spurs fan, wow, I think we like aged a few years this series. You're down 1-0, had a chance to win the game in game 1. Game 2, you win, take care of business, but it didn't really feel like you did what you're supposed to do because you lost home court. Then game 3, you go to Minnesota, you win, you're proud of yourself. Last Friday, you're like, oh, this is it. And then game 4 happens, and you're up. You had Wemby's game 3 performance. Everyone's like, he's the best player in the world. He's going to do it again. They can't stop him. And then game 4 happens, of course. And then everything that transpires from game 4, he gets kicked out. The Spurs are winning a lot of game 4. Then they lose game 4, and you're like, oh, my gosh. A must-win game 5 at home that this team shouldn't be experiencing, one. And it is experiencing, but they got to eat it. And they did. They figured out how to win a home game, a game 5, a must-win. That was a must-win basketball game. However you want to spin it, that game against that game on Tuesday was must-win, and they showed themselves and they played a great performance. And then it carried over to tonight. Came out on fire, aggressive, defense, made them work. Once they stopped fouling, the game was over because the Wolves were not making jump shots in that first half. So, and even in the third quarter, they were not making jump shots. So it's like, just make them make shots. Stop giving them free throws. And the Spurs really adjusted. Unbelievable. Yeah, we got Spurs eating good. I agree. Triple S, Mike, appreciate you. Great job, Zach. I appreciate you tuning in. Mike, you're my guy. I appreciate you. Can't wait to chop some more Spurs up next time I see you when we're working. It's my guy. 60 plus. Yeah, this is the Spurs 8 in the lane, 2 games in a row, 55 plus points in the paint. They played Rudy Gobert off the court. Victor Wembanyama played Rudy Gobert off the court this series. It was evident game 3 he couldn't guard him. Everyone's saying, "Oh, after game 1, is he the stopper? Is he the stopper?" I think we found out real quick that is not the case. And in order to stop Victor Wembanyama, you had to be faster than him. But 99% of the time, you're smaller than Victor if you're faster than him. 100% of the time, you're smaller than faster than him. So he's taller than you. And I think the more we see Victor figure this out, and this series was a great learning curve. They sent different bodies at him. We saw in against the Portland series where they had Kamara on him, they had Drew Holiday on him, they had Grant on him, Jeremy Grant on him, and now in this series they had Julius Randle, Gobert. They had Jaden McDaniels on him at certain points. You really can't. If we're getting everything that we want to see as Spurs fans, it's like let's figure out if Wemby can handle this. Okay, we're gonna put a big tall dude on him. Can't move his feet like him. Check. We saw Donovan Clingan couldn't play against Wemby. Now we see Rudy Gobert couldn't play against Wemby. So I'm excited to see what next round's going to bring. What adjustments did you see resulting in giving up fewer offensive rebounds in the latter part of the series? Well, we saw a lot of the team really just focused on boxing out. I think there's a lot of efforts on boxing out. This was, look, we had to grow a lot, right? Had to adjust, had to figure out you're going to take a lot of shots in the back. Pause. Excuse me on that. You're going to take you're going to take a beating in this series. And this was, man, you leave a playoff series, you're a little busted up. Wibby said he's a little beat up after this game. They're really taking some shots at him. Luke Cornett took a shot in the back. And he knew that's how this was going to go, especially when a game is is blown out. It starts getting a little chippy. I'm glad Mitch got everyone off the court around the 9-minute mark. If anyone has any more questions, but the offensive rebounds, we saw the Spurs countered with getting their offensive rebounds. We saw in Game 5. Pause, Vinny. My bad. We saw in Game 5, Dylan Harper had more offensive rebounds than the Timberwolves with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and he had 5 at that point. And so I think the Spurs countered by attacking the offensive glass on their end as well, and it benefited. It benefited well. And look, this was a dogfight. Every game is a dogfight. Every series has a different feel, a different emotion. And I think the emotion that I felt in this series was the better team, but it really felt like you had to be mature. And Wemby lost his maturity. Game 4. Let's call a spade a spade. He lost his maturity. He lost his head, and that's what it is. At Sold by Coffee Hour, this is really like watching a guy every game, like anime, movie, video game, power unlocking, Wemby not even in his final form. Yeah, I agree. The Spurs team is what? Wemby's 22, Steph Castle's 21, Dylan Harper's 20, Carter Bryant's 19, Devin Vassell's 27, 26, De'Aaron Fox is 28. I mean, and so I want Spurs fans, or all 43 of you in this live, to sit back and to say, whoa. And understand that you're playing with house money. This is next year is when the expectation, when you go into day one, it's this team should win the championship, right? But right now, in this moment, there is zero expectation for this Spurs team, because who thought they were going to be here? I'm the biggest Spurs fan you're going to meet. And if you'd have told me that they were going to be in the Western Conference Finals, I would have said, what? You're crazy. I was like, you're crazy. That doesn't even... That's crazy. They're in the Western Conference Finals. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Whatever happens from here on out happens. Embrace the unknown. Embrace the unexpected. Embrace this is going to be difficult when they play this team. It's not going to be easy when they play this in this next round. And you thought this series was frustrating. You're going to be frustrated as hell watching these games coming up. But as basketball fans, as Spurs fans, as the city of San Antonio, this is unbelievable. And this is amazing. So every Spurs fan in this chat, throw some hearts for the boys. They deserve it. They deserve the recognition that they're getting, the love they're getting from everybody involved, from the whole city, because, man, I cannot wait to see what comes next and what comes next for this team. Because once again, I think they know they're playing with house money. I think this team realizes that this is a freeing type moment for them, that they can just go out and let it rip. And tonight, a lot of pressure on them. They could have sat back and understand that, hey, look, this is, we got a home game kind of. We don't have to, worry about tonight. We're gonna get them again at home if we don't win tonight. No, they came out and They came out and the Wolves were wounded and they killed a wounded team. They killed a wounded team. That's how adults in this league work. That's how this should be. And tonight was massive for me, growth-wise. Where it's no, this team understands moments. And they're playing fearless. Guys, they shot 49% from 3 tonight in a Game 6 closeout game on the road. Come on. 47%, 18 for 38, 56% from the floor. I mean, you want to tell me a team that's playing free? That's a team that's playing free. I mean, 47% in a closeout game, 47% in a regular season game against the Pacers who are bad this year. You're we'll take it. But against a playoff team that's fighting for their lives, that's the way you got to sit here and say, wow, this is so much fun to watch. The people are coming out of the woodworks. People are coming out of the woodworks left and right and say, I love this Spurs team. I don't care if you're a fan today, tomorrow. I want you to be a fan of this basketball team. Because this basketball team has everything you want in a basketball team. Are they fun to watch? Absolutely. Do they play good brand of basketball? Absolutely. Do they play defense? Well, they got the best player ever, in my opinion, on the defensive end. Do they play fun offense? Oh, yeah, that ball swings around. Tonight, you want to know how many assists they had tonight, guys? What, 34 assists? Spurs basketball. As I saw in the comments from Drew here. The standard. Oh, wait, yeah, I saw. Where am I? We're missing it. Yeah, Drew, the standard is a standard. Everything I'm going to tell you right now, this is Spurs basketball on steroids. Do they play fast? Oh, yeah, there's multiple possessions throughout the game where the ball touches the court one time, and it's a layup or a wide open three. Are they do they enjoy playing with each other? Are they like a good teammates? These guys love each other. These guys love playing basketball with each other. These guys spent all summer fucking long together, playing, working out, getting right, and it's coming to fruition. It's showing. It's look what we're watching. An awesome brand of basketball. Yeah, we got some comments here. This series was never scary even after losing game one. I agree. I think after game one, we took their best shot, and that's what it was. This team is capable of anything, of course. Let's see. This is insane to watch. I'm gonna put this one. It's truly insane to watch this team and know that it's the start of what can be and what the trajectory looks like. Yeah, Drake, I totally agree. It's it's hard. In any time in your life, you're like, oh, it's hard to live in the moment, right? It's hard to live in the moment. You always want to see what's next. Maybe that's my ADHD mind. But in this situation, I want every Spurs fan to live in the moment and embrace what each day of this next series is going to be. And that's it. Live in it. Embrace it. Enjoy the playoff atmosphere. Enjoy the playoff vibes. Yeah, the word of the Jordan. Much is made about the Spurs inexperience. That narrative seems largely focused on players, but I haven't seen much of Coach Johnson. How do you think he's fared in the first 2 rounds? Great question. I've been wanting to talk about this. Coach Johnson, the adjustments that we've seen from him throughout games or series 1 and series 2. Look, the way they guarded Ant in this series was a great adjustment from Coach Johnson there in that second to 6th game. The way they worked, the different traps they used, the way they adjusted. So a lot of the way the Spurs play defense on some of those flare screens that they deal with, that the Wolves are trying to run, they do a lot of trailing all season. But and they got burned a little bit there in that game 5. Spurs adjusted right away in the second half, started doubling off those flare screens when the ball got handed off, those down screens, and really nullified the defense the defense of the Wolves. This was great from Mitch Johnson. I think Mitch is learning as well. Coach Finch isn't a slouch. Coach Finch made adjustments. Coach Finch made it hard on the Spurs. Let's call it what it is. There were the Wolves moved the Spurs around. The Wolves had some good looks, but we have Wemby, and I think the Spurs figured it out. So yeah, I like what I saw from Mitch. People complained for years about us being a boring team, even as we were in the middle of a dynasty. Should have been careful what you complained about. I'm going to show it on the screen. I agree. That's funny. I agree with that. Should have been, now who's laughing? Who's laughing now? I think I call them the Showtime Spurs. This is absolutely the Showtime Spurs. They are a team that, man, you had rookies throwing alley-oops to each other tonight. You just really got to, once again, embrace the moment, guys. I don't complain all you want. You're going to be complaining a lot about the referees in the next round, but embrace the moment. Western Conference fucking finals. We're in the Final Four. The Spurs are in the Final Four, to put it in perspective. Final Four. Look, there's a lot of franchises that can say they've been there recently, more recent than us, but Final Four. Back to where this team belongs. I wish it felt like, ooh, it feels good, but I keep feeling like there's more. I keep feeling like there's more to come with this team. So I'm not even like, oh, here we go. We got Tom Petrini joining from enemy territory. Are they, Tom? They're taking, Tom. Are they packing the hoops up for hibernation?
The Wolves are absolutely 100% going into hibernation here. And sorry, let me get this all set up for you. That's a little wonky.
Let me introduce you, Tom, and then once you
please do. Oh,
guys,
hey.
We are an hour and 10 in here. I've been going filibuster for like 15 solo dolo. It's been great, Tom. I've had a great time.
Hell yeah,
I've been waiting on you, but this is my co-host.
Can you hear me
Tom.
okay?
Yeah, I hear you so good.
Perfect.
This is my co-host Tom Petrini, and before Tom introduces himself, all 43 people in this YouTube live right now, I want everyone to hit the heart button because, for one, Tom's sponsor, Eric Salinas, got him to Minnesota to watch this Game 6 win. So shout out to Eric again. Would not be here without our sponsors. Tom would not be there without our sponsors. But Tom was also a fucking madman and not sleeping tonight and going straight to the airport from the stadium. So if y'all want to know dedication, this is my fucking boy right here, Tom. He is down.
It has been a day. A day that started when yesterday ended. I did not sleep last night. I got 2 hours of sleep on the plane in to Minneapolis this morning. I will get 2 more hours of sleep on the plane back from Minneapolis to Houston tonight, and then I will drive 3 hours from Houston to Austin, and then I'll probably sleep some.
I hope.
But I'll be honest, Zach. Zachy boy. I'll be straight up with you.
Please.
I don't feel tired at all, man. Western Conference Finals, baby.
Yeah, Tom. Don't worry. I gave the whole chat. If you go look through the chat, everyone's throwing hearts. I just poured my heart out to them and just said, look, the Western Conference fucking Finals is insane to say that the Spurs are in.
It's crazy.
Embrace the moment. Whatever happens from here on out, it's house money, baby. We're playing for the Western Conference Finals.
I wish I could have joined the show a little earlier, but I was downstairs. I got to ask Victor Wembanyama how it feels, how those words feel to him, and I got to see the smile spread across his face as he thought about it. He said his body is tired, his mind is excited. And you grow up hearing Western Conference Finals, and now he gets to do it. And the Victor, Dylan, a couple other guys that we talked about, we're talking about. This is the new standard, right? This is now what we're going to expect out of this team year in and year out, so long as they're healthy. And I mean, this series, Zach, this is about as lopsided a Spurs in 6 as it could have been.
Tom, I'm gonna carry on because Rachel, I'm gonna post her post right here on the screen, and you carry on what you're saying.
Sure. I mean, this was the third game of this series where the Spurs led by as many as 30. This was a game where the Spurs didn't trail once. The Spurs did not face a double-digit deficit the entire series. And the 2 games that the Timberwolves won, you got a putrid shooting performance in game 1, and you got the elbow heard around the world in game 4. The Spurs are 8-3 in the playoffs. They got 2 series wins under their belt, not without drama, not without stakes and adversity for this young team to overcome. And I think that every single step so far in this playoff run has been the right step to help this team develop into what they're going to eventually be. What we're going to see how close they are to it, and if they're already there in a 7-game series with Oklahoma City Thunder, defending champions. The only opponent for which the Spurs won't have home court advantage. Pretty good that they were able to come on the road and silence this building, and with 8 minutes left in the game, have Ant Edwards joining the huddle to dap everybody up and say congratulations, and bring out slow-mo and ankle socks, and let's get weird. This was it was a library in here in the fourth quarter, and
yeah. Let me ask you, what was the vibe going into the game? Could you get a sense what the fans were feeling in Minnesota or in Minneapolis? What they were thinking? You know, what was the thought? What was the thought?
This is a great basketball city. Don't let anybody tell you different. These people love their T-Wolves. I think that the fans understood that this would have been a very different series if their guys were healthy. If Ant Edwards didn't have pulled pork knees, if Dante DiVincenzo was able to launch some threes when the Spurs just kept trapping him and trapping him and trapping him and trapping him. You know, it would have been very different. And I think that what Anthony Edwards learned in this series, you know, having his athleticism robbed of him, is going to make him a even better player than he already is, and he's fantastic. But I remember being in this building after the Timberwolves won Game 4, evened the series, and some of the people who cover the Timberwolves were talking to each other after the game, and it wasn't like, oh, we got a series. You know, they could go win this. It was on the off chance that they managed to beat these guys. Are you going to Oklahoma City? That was the conversation. It was not. I think on every side of this, the realists felt it was a Spurs in 6 Sharpie. You know, that's just how it's going to go. And I mean, this was an incredibly professional performance these last 2 games.
Oh, yeah.
The maturity level on display from this team after the only time I've ever seen Victor Wembanyama lose his cool.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out, he does what he did in Game 5, 16 points in his first 6 minutes. And then he came in here and he didn't have the biggest scoring game, but something I asked Steph Castle about after the game was there were 2 plays in that first quarter where Wemby set a screen, and it's like the Timberwolves defense forgot where the ball was. It was in Steph Castle's hands, and he was wide open driving to the lane and dunking it, right? And he talked about Victor's gravity and how much he changes the game when he's in there, how much he is able to open up the floor for him and for Dylan and for De'Aaron. De'Aaron Fox was awesome tonight. I don't want to hear another bad word about De'Aaron Fox, man.
I talked about it, Tom. He was fantastic.
21 points, 9 assists, gutting it out on a wonky ankle. You know, and let's not forget that none of this works without this guy accepting his role and starring in it and doing everything he can night in and night out to win. Doesn't matter his numbers, doesn't matter who gets the credit, doesn't matter if he's got a couple of kids calling him Unk, putting up crazy numbers, getting people on the internet talking about how he should be gone somewhere. He doesn't care about none of that. They're in the Western Conference Finals.
Let me lead this in, because we'll probably go for another 20 minutes here, and maybe I'll just, you know what, maybe I'll just jump off and let you filibuster, because I know you don't mind doing that in front of the people too. And
I'm down to do that.
You're in the stadium, but I do want to give you a quick no from AB. No OKC talk till Sunday.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
I'm willing to bask in this.
Okay, So this tonight is about this series and what they've learned in embracing Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Sunday we will go live. I had a good 45 minutes. AB, he's been drinking, he's been having fun. This leads me to my next questions for you. I put AB through a speed round. I'm gonna put you through a speed round.
All right, let's do it.
Grades for the series. I'm gonna go each player one by one. Give me. You get. We'll give you 10 seconds per each player.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox.
A. I mean, everything you could have want from De'Aaron Fox. This is why you brought him here. A.
Okay. Devin Vassell.
A minus. We just talked to Dev, and man, the smile on his face. I just said Devin Vassell, Western Conference Finals. How's that sound? And he was beaming, man. And this is somebody who has been in San Antonio 6 years, developed his game. All the years people were like, when are we going to stop developing and start winning? Tell you what, right now.
Yep.
So this moment for him, I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for him. Yeah.
Steph Castle.
A plus.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, you can't go under anymore. You can't guard him with a big man anymore. He's stroking that thing from outside. He is a point guard. He is very clearly a graduate of the Chris Paul School for the young and gifted basketball players. I mean, dude's legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That was A plus. You know, in 3 of the wins they had, Steph Castle shot over 60% in 3 of those wins.
That sounds right, man.
So that's pretty big from hey, and before I ask you, Tom, I'm gonna go to the chat. We have 48 people in here, guys. Let me know where y'all are watching from. I know we have some people from San Antonio all over the world. Just let me know where y'all are. I want to know if we have some international folks in here. Let me know. Let me know.
Spurs fans around the world, baby. How you
Okay.
feeling today?
My next one for you, Tom. Julian Champagnie. And I want to, before you answer this question, you did not see it on the broadcast. But after Julian Champagnie hit that corner 3, he did troll Alex Rodriguez. And Alex Rodriguez did basically meme himself with a stank face. He was so mad at Julian Champagnie. So before you give your grade, take that into account.
I absolutely will take rage baiting of a celebrity owner into account. Julian did not have the best shooting series. I'm not looking at the numbers right now, but he played his role. You know, that's sort of the beauty of Julian Champagnie on this roster. You don't need him to be putting up 15 every night. The shot will come around, but I thought he was really tenacious on defense. I thought he was flying around out there. The whole Spurs starting lineup defensively, there were multiple stretches in this series where they held Minnesota without a bucket, without a point for minutes on end. The Spurs opened the second quarter of this game on a 20-0 run.
20-0 run.
Like, and he's such a crucial part of that. So I'm gonna give him a B, maybe B minus. That shot will come around and he'll be, you know, passing with flying colors in his role.
Okay. Victor Wembanyama. Take the flying elbow into account.
Yeah. In terms of grading his performance, I'm gonna give him an A minus, the minus only because of that elbow. In terms of
no, we're not.
In terms of for his development,
okay.
A plus 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 plus.
Okay.
I think that everything that happened in this series, good and bad, like the maturity that he showed in Game 5 after losing his cool in Game 4, he's a guy who, if he makes a mistake, the next opportunity that he has to show that that's not really what he's about, he's going to go out there and do that. He shoots poorly. He's going to come out the next game and shoot the lights out. He, turns the ball over a bunch of times. He's going to be dropping dimes next game. He gets ejected. He comes out in Game 5 and literally says afterward, I knew they were going to be rage baiting me. And you could see that he was just clapping at him. He did not care about anything other than winning that game, and it was beautiful. And this is like we're seeing the maturation in real time, and so to see that's plus 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 plus.
Okay. We got wow, Tom. Before we start asking the bench, I want to give a shout out to the people. We got people watching from, let's see here, Austin, Texas,
Hey
Utah,
yo,
Ohio, from that 512 homie.
there
Shout
we
out to
go.
Austin. Right now on Padre Island. Wow, Drew, a little jealous. Love Padre Island. By the way, of Corpus to SA to Houston. Watching Austin again. SA native now living in watching ATL. Hoping to get back SA for Western Conference Final. Yes, sir. Tom, we got a crazy one here. We got Chinese. We got people from China in the chat.
China, what up, China? Spurs fans in China, how we doing today?
That's crazy.
Tonight, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't know what it is over there. China. We got.
I don't know
Seattle.
what the time difference. I don't know what time it is right now. I'm a little loopy.
Yeah. Tom's loopy. When I leave Tom to y'all, oh my gosh, I cannot. That's gonna be like a. Anyways, back to the bench. Bench before we lose you again, Tom. Someone asked when you're moving to Minneapolis. Thoughts on that, Tom?
I love it up here, man. I'm not moving anytime soon. I'm not going to start covering the Timberwolves. And if I did, it would be a bad time to start because the Spurs are going to Western Conference Finals. They're going home.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, man, if you can come up here for a game, like if I was making the schedule next year, it would be 39 in San Antonio and 2 in Austin and like 41 in Minneapolis. I love it here, man. Like maybe it's recency bias, but this is a great. As I was leaving the arena today, I was getting up from my seat, and the people in the box behind me could probably tell like that everybody sitting in front of them was covering the Spurs just based on the way that we were looking at each other and going. And I'm walking out. I make eye contact with this guy. He's like, don't be too mean. And I'm like, I would never be mean to you people. This is a great basketball city. This is a great basketball team. And I'm quite certain that I will be back here to cover more playoff series in this building. And if this is the first of many, what a lovely little rivalry we have brewing here from one end of I-35 to another.
Yep. That's all right. We're going to go to the bench.
Let's
go
do it.
to the bench. This would be a fun answer for you, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Harper.
A plus, actually.
Yep.
I mean, like
that was the only A plus AB gave.
AB's stingy. I love him, but he's stingy. Dylan Harper, man, he is polished. He is crisp. He is so smart, so talented, so good. I just love watching him play, man. The thing that I love from the youngest guys, right, from Steph and from Dylan and from Carter Bryant, completely unafraid. In fact, they were about it. They were going right at Ant Edwards. They were not backing down from anything. So yeah, Dylan Harper, tremendous.
Tom, good news. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to leave you alone for a little bit. I'm going to order food. I'm going to order food to the house.
There we go.
So you and I.
Let's do it.
I'm going to have to sneak off and use the restroom here shortly because I've been going for an hour and 30 just fucking sending it. So I'm going to have to
do your thing,
off.
Man. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up this chat.
The chat's fun. The chat's having a good time tonight, Tom.
Here, let me pull up the chat on my computer. Yeah, you go make a little pee-pee if you need to. I can entertain the people.
I'm gonna order some food, and then I'll be ready to go.
The joys of live streaming, folks. I mean, this is truly groundbreaking podcasting.
Tom, I think I'm gonna ask the chat. Chicken and waffles. Thoughts?
Ooh, I think yes. That sounds really lovely and celebratory.
Yeah, chicken and waffles. I'm gonna go chicken and waffles. We'll go Yeah, yeah. Chicken brown sugar butter as well. We're gonna do that.
I see a comment that Tom hasn't been to Minnesota in January. True. I've done Boston though. And you know what? That's you're probably right. I moved away from there for a reason. The reason is it was too goddamn cold. So yeah.
Food's been ordered.
Food's ordered. It's in the oven. Let me get this tweet up. I'm gonna tweet out my post game after talking to the coach and the players.
That's always a yes. Yes, hard yes. Everyone said yes, so I'm glad everyone was on board with my fatness. I'm gonna be playing basketball at 9:30 tomorrow morning, so I'll burn it off. Don't worry, and hopefully I perform like one of the three guys in the backcourt. So Tom, I'll go through all my the letter grades for you, then I'll go use the restroom, and then we can just talk. We can just talk about the series and what it meant. Okay, Carter Bryant.
Yeah.
Give me a letter.
I'm going I'm giving Carter an A.
Okay. I like it.
A minus, somewhere in there, but in terms of what you can reasonably expect or hope for out of a rookie wing in his first playoff series in like a ninth man role, I thought he was a difference maker, like a true difference maker. I'm A, no A minus. He's an A. He like we've, and I can see it in the clips that I'm tweeting out and the reactions to them, that when he makes a big play on defense, people just love it. They can see how important he is and how important he's gonna be. But like in a series like this against a team like the Timberwolves, physical, they got size on the wing with McDaniels and Nas and Randall and Gobert. Spurs really needed Carter Bryant in this series. Carter Bryant came through.
Okay, I'm in. Okay, I think this might be your worst grade, and not to shout anybody out for being poor. I just think this is Keldon did not have the best series in his own standards, so I think he'll tell you this as well. Give me a grade for the old 6-man Keldon Johnson.
Keldon, I mean that game 5, he was huge.
Right.
21 points. And it's hard for role players on a team this talented, right? The scoring is not going to be consistent. It's going to change night by night. I thought Keldon played some really important defense, sizing up, big body stuff. I'm going to give him a B minus maybe.
Okay. He got a C plus from AB. I think a B, 80. I think 80 is, he just got a B. Just got a B for me. So, and then the last guy that I think played significant minutes that should get a grade, Luke Cornett.
Luke Cornett got better as this series went on.
He did.
I thought he had a great game tonight. I thought he had a great second half in game 5. I think that there were parts of this series that were, a tough matchup for him. And having said that, I know that he figured it out. So,
well, remember after game 1, we were concerned about where they're going to find minutes for him. If, some of the situations were difficult for him with the way they spaced out. And I think the Spurs and Mitch found out some good opportunities for him to be in there and productive minutes, even if he wasn't scoring.
I'll give him a B minus, and having a B minus backup center on this Spurs team is A+ work for Brian Wright.
Spurs were up 5 when Wemby sat in the first quarter, up 9 when he came back in the game. So Luke Cornett, productive minutes tonight. Rachel in the chat, Olynyk gets an A for the no-shows. Yes. Tom, you're such a generous grader from the word of Jordan. Yes, we agree with that as well. Tom is way too nice.
I'm a generous guy. What can I say?
William Van Beckham, thanks for the show. Yeah, appreciate you shouting in from Ohio, and you be safe, man. Go Spurs, go. And then I have a few more questions, Tom, before I go use the restroom and give you like 2 minutes to do your thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Most valuable player of the series.
Of the whole series.
The whole series.
Man, that's tough.
Remember value. Remember the word value.
How are we defining value? I mean, it's Wemby.
Of course.
It's Wemby. Even with getting kicked out of Game 4, I think
But I think that shows his value, though.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I also think that while they lost that battle, they won the war, and they also, I think, in him having that moment, like something like that, a big moment like that is maybe the only way the officials were going to start calling things a little bit differently in terms of the physicality around it. And there was plenty tonight. It was a lot of two hands in his lower back when he was on a roll or crashing the glass or anywhere near the basket on either end of the floor. He's getting pushed, he's getting grabbed, he's getting shoved, but not as much, right? Like, you know, that was a very important resetting of the state of play for him and for this Spurs team. And we saw it tonight when, you know, Timberwolves came out of the gate. They were like, we are not letting Victor Wembanyama get off to a hot start. And Steph Castle and De'Aaron Fox were like, okay.
So no one's guarding the paint?
All right. I mean,
You're just not going to guard the paint? Let me shoot wide with threes? I'm down.
I mean, Steph Castle to start this game, I think he scored or assisted on the first like 11 plus points for the Spurs.
It was him and De'Aaron back and forth.
Yeah.
De'Aaron had 7 and 3 at one point in like the first quarter, and Steph was also just going nuclear, and they were fighting each other on both ends.
They were just taking turns wielding the chancla, man. Like, it was beautiful. And then as the game got a little older, then it was time to like, okay, now Vic's gonna get some. So, yeah.
Okay, my next question.
Incredible game.
My next question.
Yeah.
And I think the most fun one is your favorite play from these 6 games. What is the one play that if you're like, I'm going to look back on this and remember that?
The one play.
It could be the elbow. I don't care.
I mean, I'm going to remember the elbow because I was staring right at it. Like I was looking right at it.
Can we get an honest Tom Petrini's face when the elbow happened?
It was kind of like.
You knew he was gone right away?
Yeah, immediately. There was no question. So that will live rent free. I think that another one that I'm always gonna remember is Game 5, first quarter. Wemby drives in the pick and roll as the ball handler, and his eyes are at the rim when he dunks it, right? Yeah, I'm gonna remember that one for a while. It was beautiful. Yeah, just a beautiful series of playoff basketball. But
all right, well, I'm gonna let you transition to whatever you want to talk about. I'm gonna go take a piss and fill my water. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. Chat, I'm here with you. I appreciate you all hanging out with me and with Zach and with Aaron Blackerby on the Silver and Black Coffee Hour. Yeah, Rachel, Dylan going full court Ginobili. That move, I mean, Dylan Harper is one of the most special dribblers that I have ever seen. And he's 20 years old. It's crazy. That play behind the back, Hezzy behind the back again, drive to his left, dunk on Dosunmu and say something to him. That was awesome. I see Jonathan in the comments, Keldon's block on Gobert. That one was awesome. The Keldon block on Rudy Gobert was so amazing because we were talking about a guy who is 6'5", elevating and blocking it straight down out of the hands of a guy who is 7'1". I don't think I've ever seen that before. It was truly remarkable, and just a wonderful moment in a wonderful Keldon game. So that one, totally agree, Jonathan. That was a really excellent play. This was a super fun series. I mean, we're completely glossing over. Oh yeah, the Devin the Devin Vassell 3-point shot where he jumped before he had the ball in his hand on a jump shot. I've seen it shoot around the last few days. They've kind of tried that as a joke a little bit, and nobody can hit it. It's incredible. It's super funny. Vic had 10 blocks. Vic had a dozen blocks in the first game, NBA record. And like I feel like I'm already glossing over that. I'm already forgetting some of the greatness that I've seen even in this series. I gotta lay off the peyote. But I mean, there was just so much. And honestly, like, I know that this is a Spurs podcast. I know that we are, you know, 10 toes down for our San Antonio Spurs. But I got to tell you guys, this Timberwolves team, and specifically Ant Edwards, that dude's going to be a problem for a long time. I'm just telling you right now, that guy is going to be an issue for the Spurs and for everybody else. This Timberwolves team was in the conference finals the past 2 years. They are a really good team. They got banged up, and this series would have been pretty much no doubt in my mind going back to San Antonio for 7 if everybody was healthy on this Timberwolves team. I still think that the Spurs win it in Game 7. But injuries robbed us of a classic series and made this a lot more lopsided than I think it would have been if Ant's legs worked, and so did Dante DiVincenzo's. So I think that everything that has brought the Spurs here has been like this is just all how it was supposed to go. It's the best way it could have gone, warts and all, because people talk about playoff experience, battle tested. Those Oklahoma City Thunder haven't even lost a game yet. What, Zach? I'm curious. I'll let you get your headphones in. I'm curious what you think about this one, Zach. The Spurs have overcome some adversity in this playoffs.
Yes.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, they haven't even lost yet. They don't even know what it's like when it gets tough. They're about to learn. They're about to see something.
AB's gonna call in. I know AB is watching. He's gonna call in. He is gonna shut this operation down.
I'm not saying. I'm just
He's
saying.
gonna shut this operation down.
Like,
Tom, I will agree. They have dealt with a lot of adversity, and AB and I talked about it with this Timberwolves team. I guess this leads me to my next question. I really don't know what you talked about when you're filibustering, but fuck it. I'm gonna have to ask the question either way. You're gonna have to answer it again if you've already answered it one time. What did you feel like the Spurs team learned from this series that you can take back and learn, and that you're like, ooh, okay, this was something that we can take and grab and really learn from?
I mean, they got an even more talented and more physical defensive team that sold out and did everything they could to try to stop Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
They had already learned some of dealing with that in the first series. And in this series, it was like this was the best appetizer that the Spurs could have gotten to prepare them for the physicality and the style of play that they're going to face in Oklahoma City. Dude, Nas Reed is so good.
So he's unbelievable. He's a great player. So I guess I'll ask this. Are you happy that the Spurs faced this Timberwolves team compared to the Nuggets team? Do you think
100%.
that this Wolves team showed them a lot more of the physical side of things than what that Nuggets team would have shown?
I mean, ask the Timberwolves, right? How much were they tested in that series with the Nuggets? You know, Jaden McDaniels was not scared of them for good reason. And they had their own injuries, most specifically to Aaron Gordon, who unlocks so much of what they do, especially defensively. But like if the Spurs played the Nuggets, I don't think they would have learned anything about how to deal with playoff physicality from that. You know, it's and they got a crash course here, sometimes literally. And so this was like a really, really awesome series for the Spurs to finally go get some of that playoff experience they've been hearing so much about.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Now they got playoff experience. So what now? Everybody's talking about, they don't have playoff experience. Guess what? Now they do. Now they got 2 series wins. And I asked Dylan Harper after the game. I was like, man, 11 playoff games, 2 series wins, a little bit of adversity. How experienced are you feeling? And he was like, I feel pretty experienced.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dylan Harper looks very experienced out there. I know some of the moves he put.
Hell yeah.
He kind of shocks me sometimes. I want to act like I'm not shocked, but like some of these moves that he's just able to get to his right, his left hand, the spins, the Euros. Tom, we lost you on the camera. Oh, there you are. You're back. He, man, he seems a lot more experienced than he is. Okay, let me ask you another question, Tom. Mitch Johnson, thoughts through 2 rounds of this through 2 rounds of playoffs. Have you enjoyed the adjustments? I saw Rachel asked over here, hey, what did you enjoy the traps? She said, let me see if I can find it. She also because she also realized that we cannot talk about OKC. So she's alluding to wink, wink. It might help in the OKC series. Wink, wink.
Mitch Johnson.
Oh, I'm getting a call from AB. He's shutting it down. No, okay.
I was so sure. I was like,
we're in trouble. He's shutting it down.
Mitch Johnson has done a tremendous job. Mitch Johnson is, and to be clear, he's done a tremendous job all year. He has built the framework for the Spurs' success. He has demanded so much of these guys in terms of intensity, in terms of, flattening the floor, playing with pace. There was a point in this game, Zach. The Spurs were up like 25. It's the end of the quarter. It was like the end of the 3rd quarter, and the Spurs get like a defensive rebound, and Mitch Johnson is on the side like, go, go, go. And I'm like, this guy's a sicko, man, in the best way possible. In the way that you want the coach of your basketball team to be a sicko, Mitch Johnson is a sick dude. And I mean, he's just Sean Sweeney. Yeah, I see you, Drew Show. Shout out Sean Sweeney.
Unfortunately. Thank God we got a year of learning some of his tricks of the trade, though.
Yeah.
We got all we needed.
It's fun while it lasted.
we learned your tricks, buddy. You want what we did. All right. Hopefully we get more looks throughout the playoffs. So he has to give more goodies. Mitch, take some notes, please.
No, I have dug the Mitch Johnson experience. I have dug the Sean Sweeney experience.
No, not hating on Mitch. I'm just saying, pick his brain as much as you can until he's
No,
gone.
yeah, no, I hear you. It's yeah, if Sean Sweeney does become a head coach elsewhere in this league, whatever team that would be getting a very good coach. And just relentless. I think that what Mitch Johnson has done the best, and we haven't really talked about this on this show. Mitch Johnson has developed a style of play and a set of principles for this team that could work with anybody who's young and talented and fast and can put the ball on the floor and can score in a variety of ways. He has maximized, or at least is getting close to maximizing, how to play around Victor Wembanyama. The stuff that they're doing on both ends of the floor, especially defensively, they are so locked in at using the advantages that he creates. And, it's Rachel, that's not nice. Harder to build a defense around Derek Queen instead of Vic. Yes, it's harder. Vic makes a lot of stuff easy. Vic makes a lot of stuff very easy.
Tom,
But it's not the easiest to build this much success around him. So kudos to Mitch Johnson, man.
I saw a funny thing today, Tom.
Tell me.
I saw a lot of the Wolves beat writers posting like, "Oh," and I'm a Drake guy. First, I want to get this. I want to get this when I say this. I'm a Drake guy.
See some of this, yeah.
They said they're listening to Iceman, and then some people are like, "Oh, it's over." And then I also saw people were saying, "Oh, the Drake curse," because the Spurs account posted Drake and Wemby. But then I knew it was all over when our very own Michael C. Wright from the ESPN tweeted before the game that the Spurs were listening to Zero before the game. And in my head, I'm like, I hope it's Mo City Dawn because I love that song. But I don't know if it's 25 Liars on the Dresser or 25 Liars. That doesn't seem like that seems more like Tom and I smoking a blunt together.
That's
like,
post game.
Yeah. Like, so like, I don't know what was, some ABN's always fun pregame. And I knew as a South Texas boy myself, the game was over.
Yeah.
It was over before it even started. So shout out to the great reporting of our very own Mike C. Wright, who does this great for ESPN, great stats and great insight. And if Zero is being blasted pregame, sorry guys, the opposing team, you might be fucked and you're probably going to be fucked. And we saw tonight that it was bad. It was bad. Tom, I want to ask you a question now, transitioning to that. We saw that 20-0 run in the second quarter from the boys. Fantastic. And then they narrowed it down to 13 going into halftime. What was your mindset and what did you need to see from the boys? And obviously you saw it, but what was your thought process?
When the lead started to dwindle, right? It was because I was already starting to write my wow, they beat the crap out of them story, right? And so that run that the Timberwolves made was my fault because I started typing. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to freak everybody out. But I think that what I learned in this series and when I was writing this morning about just some of the trends in this series, the games that the Spurs lost were the games where they didn't build a double-digit lead. Mm-hmm. They never trailed by double digits, and in 3 of their 4 wins, they went up by 30, right? And when you go up by 30, obviously the other team can still come back. It's the modern NBA. But the amount of energy that it took for the Timberwolves to cut it to 13 at halftime, and the amount of sloppy execution that Mitch Johnson could then yell at his guys, and then they come out of the locker room, pissed off, started 30-15 in the third quarter, I think. So it was I getting a little sweaty? Sure. Yeah, it was loud in here. It was like, I'm not gonna front. It was loud in here. It got really quiet in the fourth, but there was a moment in that second quarter, especially toward the end of it, where it was like, okay, they're stealing some momentum here, and they're not gonna go without a fight. And they fought. They fought all series. A hell of a series, gutsy series from the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Shout out to Drake.
Got like
We've
5
been
more
rocking
minutes
with
before
Ice
I gotta go.
Yeah, me too. My food's about to be here. Are they kicking you out?
No. I just gotta see if I can get any of that pizza that's in the media workroom. Like I said, they've been real good over here. My flight is at 6 a.m.
Which means you have to burn what? How many more hours?
I'm gonna be here for another probably 2 hours.
Okay.
I'm gonna get as much work, as much video as I can get. Write some things, charge my phone because we're running low. But
French fan from London. Go Spurs, go! I guess, Tom, we should use this final 5 minutes for you and I.
Mm-hmm.
We've been going we'll go for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It'll be for 2 hours. It'll be our longest stream.
Nice, even 2 hours.
It'll be behind the we got Dylan Harper live stream, which was great.
That was a fun one.
Tom, we have 40 people in here. It is
40 people in here still at 1:15 in the morning. That's great. I love you guys.
People are saying we need super chats. I've kind of poured my heart out for this team, how happy I am, how proud I am of them for adversity, going through it, figuring out life, Western Conference Finals. I'll give you the floor. And I want you to talk to these 40 people. And I want, I gave it my perspective on where I'm coming from. I want you to tell the fans where you're coming from and how proud and excited you are and what to expect.
I mean, you're looking at somebody who really started covering this team in earnest in the aftermath of Kawhi Leonard leaving. And now the Spurs are going to their first conference finals since Zaza. And it's their first playoff appearance in Keldon Johnson's career. Right? And
Devin Vassell.
And talking to Devin tonight, getting to share that moment with him, and because we've got some new faces, right, covering the team, which is great. I love some of the people who have come into this beat and make it better with their work and their questions and their creativity. But it felt so cool to talk to him and know that he remembers me from his rookie year, and it is so cool that this is a guy who was, drafted as a 3-and-D guy to a team that was, selling off their assets. And then he was asked, they were like, Devin, you're going to be a primary creator. You're going to try that out. You're going to build this skill set. And, he didn't develop into Michael Jordan or anything, but he developed into a guy who can get to his spot and hit a shot at any time. And that's incredibly valuable for this team. He's been an amazing safety blanket for the Spurs on this playoff run so far. And just a steady, composed, veteran presence. And this is somebody that I've been covering since he was a teenager. And so thank you for saying that, William. I appreciate that.
Tom, you're getting all the love in the chat. I'm putting it up here. And it's true. It's very true. I don't mean to cut you off, but Tom Petrini is the fucking GOAT.
Well, thank you, Zach. You're too kind.
Carry on. Well, Ladruso said, like I said, Tom Petrini is the most consequential Spurs beat reporter since Jerry Lindin, who is now the editor-in-chief at Yahoo Sports. Pay him Sports Illustrated. Wow, that's big praise from
This
the Drew Show.
it is a dream to get paid any amount of dollars to do this. And once again, got a shout out before I go. The guy who helped get me here, Eric Salinas, appreciate you, man. You know, I was only planning on games 3 and 4, because your boys gotta make some decisions financially for what I'm gonna pay to cover, and I knew that we were gonna see something special tonight. I knew I wanted to be here for it, and I know I want to check out that pizza if that's still in here. So, with that,
Before you leave, Tom, I'm going to say something.
please
The
do.
San Antonio Spurs are in the Western Conference Finals. The mic is in your face. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good, Zach. I feel pretty good, and I'll see y'all in Oklahoma City. I will be there. I will get one day to sleep it off, and then I'll drive.
Are you
I'll
driving?
drive. Yeah, I'll drive. It's what, 6'7"? 6'7"? Sorry.
That boy on the
I'm
road.
sorry.
That boy on the
I'm
road.
sorry.
Tommy Rody Petrini.
But yeah, it's gonna be super fun, man. And if you think these playoffs have been fun so far, we
Buckle
ain't
up.
seen nothing yet, bro. This is
Buckle
about
the
to
fuck up.
strap in, baby Jesus.
Buckle
It's gonna
the
get
fuck
bumpy.
up. Buckle the fuck up. Tom,
All right.
as
Zach,
always,
thank
safe
you for holding it
travels.
down, man. Appreciate
Safe
you.
travels. Much love. Thank you for doing what you're doing. And
Love you, pal.
everyone, go Spurs. Go.
Go Spurs, go.
Later.